This from his mother today. We have an agreement with both Real Madrid and PSG. It's up to Kylian now. We await his decision. The two offers are almost identical. There are no new meetings in order to negotiate Kylian's future. Those are over. Jules, what's the latest?
The latest is that we don't know. We're still waiting to find out. We're still waiting to find out from him directly, officially. The words will come from out of his mouth, whether that's tomorrow, Saturday, whether that's Sunday morning, Sunday evening. We don't know yet, but it should be this weekend. We're waiting and we're trying to find out from the PSG side. They don't know. They haven't heard anything. They still, or certainly this morning, still believe that he was on his way to Madrid. The Madrid side, they don't know. They believe that he's going to stay in Paris. So this is an incredible, this is the most incredible transfer saga that we've ever seen in football. Yeah, we've had and we've covered big transfer sagas. Players having clash, going to the clash with their clubs to leave, agents, all of that. Yeah, we've had. But a saga like this, that, to be fair, has lasted for 12 years because Real Madrid tried to sign him when he was 11. And then they tried again 6 years ago, and they tried again 5 years ago, and they tried again last summer, and they tried again this summer, and it might not still come. This is never seen before. And, well, we've got 1 or 2 days left to wait. But whatever the outcome, whether he stays or leaves, whether he goes to Madrid or stays in Paris, it will be one, if not the most incredible transfer saga we've ever seen.
He's either genuinely not made his mind up, or he genuinely loves the fact that everybody's still talking about it and everybody's hanging on. But I've got to tell you, I've never heard, his mum coming out and talking about, I'm trying to think now, none of us here were anything like Kylian Mbappe, but we all made transfers. Made a transfer from Chelsea to Celtic and from Celtic back down to Derby County. But at no point did my mother ever come out of the house with a cup of tea and go, Craig's not made his mind up yet. It's just bonkers, isn't it? It's just bonkers. Everybody seems to get involved now. Make a decision one way or the other. And I think we all know what it's going to be looking like. It's going to go to Real Madrid. But if that's the case,
well, it's interesting you say that.
Say it.
Because, Jules, you said today that the feeling from both sides of the clubs is that Madrid are fearful that he's going to stay at PSG, and PSG are fearful that, yes, he's going to go to Madrid. Are they just both paranoid now?
They just don't know. I think it's been a big roller coaster, to be fair, where I think he changed his mind a lot, which is understandable because we've said often on the show that he still feels there's more things to achieve from him in Paris because it's his hometown. If he become the captain that lifts the Champions League next season, for example, the first one in the history of the club, this is going to be extraordinary for him. He can become the greatest goal scorer in the club's history, for example. So there's still a lot of things that he can do at the club. But on the other hand, Madrid has always been his dream since he was a kid. He's playing with Kylian Benzema. He's playing for the team that is in the final of the Champions League and can win it for the 14th time. This is the biggest club in the world. This is the famous white shirt. It's the famous Bernabeu. It's all of that. So you can see why he's really torn in between. But he's had a long time to choose. He's had a long time. He clearly used one club against the other in terms of, they're offering me this. What about you? Can you up your offer a bit? Oh, look, now they're giving me the image right, 100%. What about you? So clearly going back and forth, which I think they've played that really, really well. But now, come on, man, it's about time to reveal it. So he thought about doing a LeBron James or an Antoine Griezmann. Not sure the Griezmann one was as good as the LeBron one, of going on French television and say, okay, I've made my decision. Here is my choice. I'm going to do this. But now they have second thoughts as well because maybe it's not the greatest of ideas, especially if he stays. Because I think if he stays, it's a bit more underwhelming than if he goes to Real Madrid after everything that happened in the last year or so. So even they don't know yet how to announce it. It's just like you said, bonkers.
Absolutely bonkers. What's the feeling back in Madrid then, Sid, about this whole situation?
Well, I think there's a quite simple way of explaining the process that Jules was talking about. If we're in a situation, and he's quite right, in which both clubs are frightened They're both nervous. They both believe that there's a chance that he will leave them in the lurch because from either club's point of view, if he chooses against them now, it will feel like a defeat and a very, very heavy defeat from both clubs' point of view. There's a very simple reason why they're both in that position. And it's not just the paranoia, as you say, but I suppose there is that natural pessimism when you've put so much effort into making something happen, when you've been told, yeah, it's okay, I'm keen on this, and then it doesn't happen. But there's one other very simple thing. The clubs know, absolutely know, what Kylian Mbappe has said to them. They don't know, not exactly, what he has said to the other club. They know what he's told them he said to the other club, but they don't know what he said to the other club. So why are both clubs worried about it? Because neither of them have heard him say the thing they need him to say. So both of them can believe he might have said it to them. And so they're both in this position. They haven't heard the thing they need. Neither Real Madrid nor PSG have heard the thing they need. So of course they're nervous. Because they're both thinking, well, if he was staying, in PSG's case, or in Real Madrid's case, well, if he was coming, surely he would have told us. He would have said something. We'd have been able to sense it somehow. There would have been a promise. There would have been a sense of him saying at some point, look, don't worry about it. And it's extraordinary, really, that Mbappe hasn't put either club in that position, where he's calmed them down and said, look, privately, it's all right, don't worry about it. And that's why they're both fearful, because neither of them have heard the words they need to hear.
Pablo, if you were Kylian Mbappe, what would you do?
Listen, if I had a chance to go to Real Madrid, I wouldn't think twice, for sure. For me, Real Madrid is the biggest club in the world. And I think playing for Real Madrid would take you to another level. A chance to build your own legacy, to play in the greatest stadium. I'm sure if you walk in Real Madrid and you see all the trophies, Champions League and all that would be something amazing, like Cristiano Ronaldo did back in 2009 when he was playing for Manchester United and he was winning trophy and all that, and he decided to go to Real Madrid. So I understand and I respect PSG. They have great players. They have huge ambitions. Di Maria is leaving at the end of the season, so they will try to keep Mbappe to play alongside with Messi. And all that, but Real Madrid for me is the greatest club. So if that was me, I would pick Real Madrid for sure.
So if it is the case, if he goes to Real Madrid, Pablo, how do you see him fitting in with Benzema and Vinicius?
No, he's perfect. Real Madrid suit him, especially in the style of playing. That counter-attacking football with Vinicius and Benzema. Mbappe on the right-hand side, that quick attacking transition that we have seen from Ancelotti this season with huge players, with Modric and Kroos, those creativity players who can play good balls, in behind, and with his speed and technique, he can make the difference. So. That would be amazing to see Mbappe playing from Real Madrid.
I tell you what, I was just thinking that must have been a really difficult season for you, Pablo, when you were squad number 333 behind you.
That's why they gave me this last game that we play at home, and it was last game at Watford away. So I was not in the squad because if not, they needed to change. The number. It was 334. So.
He's going to Real Madrid. Come on.
He's going to, just,
if you get the chance, I always
he can't announce it on television, though, can he? He can't do.
Well, this is 2022. Some of these players can do things that we'd never thought that we would do when we were playing. It was a little bit more simplistic. Let's hold a press conference and sign a contract, blah blah blah. But yeah, things have changed. Look. As Pablo has said, Barcelona are having their issues at the moment. But to me, and people in Italy and England and other countries will argue, to me, the two big Spanish clubs have always been, in my opinion, the biggest draw for the top players. Now, there are other great clubs around the world, of course there are, but I've just felt that, yeah, it's been cyclical, Juventus and Milans and these other clubs, but the two Spanish giants have been a huge draw and continue to be a huge draw, particularly Real Madrid. And I think for those reasons, now's the right time. As difficult as that is for PSG, I think now's the right time in his career. I think, as Jules was saying a few days ago, he's given PSG a number of years, that maybe they didn't even think they were going to get that long, who knows. And I think it's a good time to move. It's a transitional period at Real Madrid. They've been hugely successful this season, but we still know that it's a rebuild. And he's a huge part of that. And I think for those reasons, eventually we'll probably see him make this announcement to go to Spain.
Yeah, but Pablo, just going back to talking about what you'd do if you were Kylian Mbappe, wouldn't you want to stay at PSG to play with Lionel Messi?
Well, this is what I'm saying. I mean, PSG has a big ambitions, and they want to have top players to continue, fighting for the Champions League or, the domestic competitions and all that. But I think too good for that. But all those players, they always want to be surrounded by top players as well. And I'm sure for Mbappe to have Messi, alongside him and some of the rest of the players are incredible. So even Messi, I think one of the reasons that went to PSG because he knew that Mbappe was there, Di Maria, and some of those players. So they cannot let Messi down, and they try to make a huge effort to keep those players to give a chance Messi to be in a strong side with top players. Well, we'll see how that finish.
I don't think that's an argument now, really, or an angle. I think, a few years ago, yeah, you'd have crawled over whatever to be in the same team as that guy. I'm not suggesting you wouldn't want to be in the same team. But I think that allure has somewhat gone. He had a difficult season this season, or the season that's just about to finish, or has finished, and he's already talking about going to Miami. He's already talking about the next phase where, let's be honest about it, that's kind of, that's scaling it down, going to MLS from where he's been. So that's not exactly looking at it from Mbappe's point of view, or anybody saying, oh, let's go in there and play with Lionel Messi for 5 years. That's just not going to happen. He's thinking about where he's going to be to finish off his career and earn a nice bit of money and live in a nice country. And Kylian Mbappe has to do what's right for him.
Oh.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.